Shana tova.
Shana tova, everyone.
We're just a day or two before Rosh Hashanah, and we want to share with you a nice message. So we know that Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of the year. It's the day that the world was created, and we relive that energy. And we hope to start the year with change. It's a time where we look back in the past and we say, whatever was. Let's move forward. Let's have a beginning. Hashanah in Hebrew also comes from the word shinui, which means change. We want change. And in order to change, we sometimes need to reevaluate or evaluate ourselves and look at what we did in the past.
Yeah, it's just like a company. When a company wants to be successful, what do? They have to sit down at the end of the year, reevaluate the whole year.
Exactly.
What did we do? What do we need to change? What worked really well and we need to keep doing, and even multiply and do more things on the same style. Really, if we reevaluate, look back and learn for the future, that's the best way to grow.
Exactly.
And progress everything.
Exactly. But what's really interesting is that, growing up, we always remember the same thing. It's a serious time. It's a time where, Sifrei Chayim u'Metim Ptuchim Lefanecha, the books of life and death are open. Who's going to live? Who's going to die? It's very serious. And what happens is we forget, like the oral law. When you look into the oral law and the depth of what Rosh Hashanah is, you start seeing it's really focused on something special. It's focused on positivity.
Right.
And that's really the whole theme of Rosh Hashanah, is this focus on positivity. It's one of the powerful ideas that you see on Rosh Hashanah.
It's just like educating kids.
Exactly.
Or anything in life. You start on a positive note, you approach them in a positive note. I know what's your strength, and finding something good to say about them before you start saying what needs to be changed. That can set the tone for the rest of the conversation.
Right. Because a child needs recognition. He needs to be recognized and
to feel that there is something they're good at. Many other things. They might have a weakness, they might have something that they need to work on, but if we start on a positive note, you have someone to talk to. Exactly. But if we don't, then it might be different.
Mm-hmm. And for that reason, we don't actually say sorry. We don't confess on Rosh Hashanah. Our focus is simply making the king, accepting the creator of the world as our king, as saying that we do not run the world. There is something already that runs the world. We also take out omens, and the Talmud concludes that omens are real. So we take out our bread and we dip it in honey. We take the apple, dip it in honey, and we say, just like this honey is sweet, we want our year to be sweet. And it may seem strange. We get this challah, and normally it's braided in a straight pattern, but now we make it round. And we take dates, and we say, dates in Hebrew come from the word tamar, sheyitamu, which means to cut off. We want to cut off our enemies. We don't want to have enemies anymore within ourselves, obviously. So there's a huge focus on omens. And again, why? Because we want to start the year on a positive note.
Yeah,
we
it's all
want
about positivity.
The focus is positivity. I want to start the year on a positive note. So that's one of the other things. We also take a ram's horn. The Mishnah says, make sure you only use a ram's horn.
Right.
And that reminds us of the story with Abraham and how committed he was, and how he was willing to even sacrifice his child, even though he wasn't going to do it at the end. But he was willing to sacrifice his child. It shows commitment. And that's something we want to remember, the good parts of us. And the Mishnah says, don't use a cow's horn, because a cow's horn is used to gore. It fights with its horn much more. A cow's horn reminds us of the para duma, the red heifer. And the red heifer is a bad thing that we did. So the golden calf. We don't want to remember negative things. We want to remember positive things. And that's a huge part of the theme of Rosh Hashanah. Because in order to change, you need to start off with positivity.
Yes.
And then if you notice, Shira, what do you think about afterwards? What happens afterwards? We go through till Yom Kippur, and then we start saying, I want to change.
Yeah, those are the days that we can actually, we work on ourselves, we look back, we can be self-criticizing, really criticize ourselves and see where and what and how we need to do in order to change and grow. Because the main thing that we want is really growing, advancing, and
improving.
Improving. Yeah.
But the first thing is recognition. Recognize who we are. We're human beings. We're
Yes.
amazing. We're special. And that's how it starts. And that's really what Rosh Hashanah is. So with that, we want to wish you an amazing year, a year of blessings and of goodness and of health. Or to all our friends out there.
Happiness,
Happiness.
much love, and success with everything you do, and self-growth. So, Shana Tova u'Metuka.
Shana Tova u'Metuka. Sweet.